1908. The inside of the factory is hot, sweltering actually. I almost can't feel my own fingers about how hot it is. My friends down at the assembly line have said that Mr. Ford's new car is going nowhere. We have been working countless hours on it, and nothing has come of it. But today seems different. Today, Mr. Ford is not in his office. Instead, he is down near the people working with parts. Everyone says he's doing something with his new car. We had our first prototype about 3 months ago, but that quickly went south. It kind of exploded. Anyway, Mr. Ford is in his new car, and everyone's kind of going crazy about it. I rush down there to see what's going on. Everyone is hooting and hollering like they've just seen a ghost. Mr. Ford's car is turning on. This is the first time we've seen this since we first got our first prototype. Mr. Ford is quickly driving around his car like crazy. We're all cheering and yelling. He just can't, it's like you can't even grasp how crazy this event is. Mr. Ford gets out of his car and he says something that I will never forget. Ladies and gentlemen, we may have just created the first ever car. Welcome to the future. Mr. Ford and all of his people of the company, including me, just created the first automobile. This day may impact humans forever. However, Mr. Ford was not always so lucky. At first, when he was younger, he was very fond of fixing things such as watches and other mechanical devices. But in 1876, his mom died. This impacted him in a very heavy way. His father, who loved farm work and so did his mother, quickly pushed him to work on the farm. He did not want to work on the farm. He instead wanted to go to college, so he told his father, I do not want to work on the farm. Instead, I want to work on college. So, in 1879, he left his home. The first job Ford ever got after coming out of college was working for Thomas Edison's illumination company. After a couple years of work, he was quickly promoted to the mechanical engineer, the lead mechanical engineer. But he was not always the best at his job, because sometimes he would trail off and instead choose to work on his own home experiments. And in 1889, Ford, with the help of Thomas Edison's money, created the first quadricycle, the first model. This quadricycle eventually led to the creation of the Model T in 1908. But specifically about the quadricycle, Mr. Ford did not create the first quadricycle. The first quadricycle was in fact created by Mercedes-Benz in 1885. That's a common misconception. About the future. In the future, many cars will become electric. Due to the crashing of our ozone layer, many cars will stop using gas entirely, and instead, electricity, which is a renewable resource, will become almost the most fuel for most cars. Specifically Audi, in 2020, all their new models will only be using electric. Now, another with the future. Many people say, oh, flying cars and stuff like that, which could be a little far off, but also considering that we've already seen examples of flying cars, that may not be the most far off thing. Many say Ford kickstarted the Industrial Revolution. Even if it is debated, it is 100% that Ford got us to where humans are today. The car would be nothing without Henry Ford. Thank you.